Welcome to the pilot episode of Programmer Talks. And today, I'm Herbosa, and this is my co-host, Rencie Gonzales. And today, we're here to interview Alysson Alvaran, part of the board of trustees of Python Philippines, and is heavily involved with the growing community of Python developers here in the Philippines. So let's get down to the questions. So for the first one, so from your point of view, what factors have driven Python's growth?
There are actually a lot of things that can drive an open source project's growth, one of which is the people. I think it's actually the biggest factor. I can categorize them into two, the users and the contributors. So for the users, these are the people who use Python, the companies who are supporting Python or using them in their projects. On the other hand, the contributors are those who contribute to the Python project. If you've seen the Git repository of Python, there's actually 70 repositories inside. So it goes to show how many contributors are there in the community. So I think those who are the primary factors that are driving the growth of Python.
Well, yeah, it is true that the community drives the programming language. So shall we move on to the next question then? So with that said, can you say that Python is a programming language that will be relevant for a long time?
I think it is something that we will use for the next few decades, but I'm not sure if it's something that we'll use forever, because if you can see the history of programming languages, it's either these programming languages evolve into something better or they are replaced by something that can address all of our needs. So for example, Python actually came from C. It was derived from C. But since C can't provide the things that we need now, they made Python. And I think that's something that might happen in the future as well. There might be something that we need that Python can't address, and so we'll create something better for that.
Okay, so as for the last question, so why do you think Python is in demand these days?
I think mostly because of the boom of data science. We have data science, machine learning, and AI. And since they need a lot of developers for those kinds of fields, there are a lot of people who are looking for Python developers nowadays. And another thing I think is because Python is something that's very easy to understand and very easy to learn, companies nowadays are now looking for people who have the logic to develop programs. I mean, in the sense that they don't need someone who's good at programming. They only need someone who has the logic, and then they can teach Python to those people.
So you mean it's the accessibility that really drives?
Yeah.
So that ends the main questions. We shall now go to the additional questions. And we are back. So, as I have said before, we will have additional questions, and it's going to be headed by my co-host, Rencie Gonzales. Take it away, Rencie.
So for our additional questions, for our first question, do you find Python easier to work with compared to other languages you have used in your career?
My answer might be biased because I only used two languages throughout my career, Python and C#. But I really find Python easier to use because it's easier to set up. The space that you need isn't much, and you can use any text editor that you want to create your files. And also, for example, if you're creating classes, in C# you would probably use public static void main string args, right? But in Python, you just have to use def, and then you can focus on the logic of the code that you're trying to do. And it's a big thing for me because I can focus on the logic more than the syntax, and it saves me time because I can technically just create pseudocodes and then proceed with creating the program.
For next question, did you obtain any certification for Python, and do you recommend other programmers to get certification for it as well?
The short answer would be no. I actually got one from SoloLearn, I think, before, but that was when I was trying to learn Python. I think if you're trying to gain a certification or a certificate for the sake of gaining the paper, it's not worth it, because our programming is actually a skills-based type of job where skills matter more than the certificate. However, I'm not saying that certificates don't matter at all. It might help you, especially if you're applying for a corporate type of job, because human resource people in corporate companies usually look at the certificates. But in the long run, it's not something that I would recommend.
So that's it for the additional questions.
We're back. So, as I've mentioned before, Miss Alysson works for the does community work for the developers here in the Philippines. So we came here to ask her more about that. So, Miss Alysson, so how big and active is the Python community here in the Philippines?
Statistically, I can't really answer that.
But in your experience,
in our Facebook account, Facebook group, we have, I think, around 10,000 members, many of which are not active. Yeah, most of them are not active. But we also have local Python communities like WaterPy, Pineapple Pie. Are you familiar with those?
Well, I'm familiar with Raspberry Pi.
WaterPy is the local community in Cagayan de Oro because they're known for their waterfalls. And then we have Pineapple Pie. This is the local community in Bukidnon because they're known for their pineapples. And we also have other local communities. Aside from
These are all developers.
Yeah, mostly. But all of them are, it's like an umbrella thing. And then Python Philippines is on top of those mini local communities. And then here in Manila, we have monthly meetups. Usually it's on a Thursday, and they discuss different topics. And aside from that, the biggest event that we have is PyCon, or Python Conference. Last February, it was attended by, I think, around 500 participants. And actually, we were able to sell out the tickets quite fast, weeks before the event. So I think there are at least more than 500 who are active.
So you told us that you do community work for the Python Philippines. So what do you do for the community?
As a part of the board of trustees, I usually help in organizing the event, PyCon. But mostly I'm the background work. Before I used to host PyCon. I think it was last 2015. But after that, I focused more on the background work. And right now, I'm working as the treasurer. So most of the things that we have to pay for, because Python Philippines is incorporated, so we have to pay like the taxes and the necessary paperwork. Those are the things that I usually do. And for Women Who Code Manila, I'm also the Python tech lead. So that's where I do the tech stuff. So I mentor people, usually beginners and people who wanted to shift from a different degree to programming.
And you find it very fulfilling and engaging.
I actually learned Python through the community. So they were the ones who taught me how to code. They were the ones who taught me how to set up my computer and everything. And so it's something like giving back to the community since I already received a lot of things from them. So it's something that I wanted to pay forward.
So that is quite noble. You know. So now that's not enough of it. Now we can move on to the lightning
Hey
round.
everyone, my name is John Alvaran, but my friends call me Leo, and this is my co-host Ses, and we are now in the lightning round. Ses, can you please explain to us the instructions for the lightning round?
Okay, so here in the lightning round, we're gonna ask a series of questions, and after which you will say the first thing that comes to your mind. It would be nice if you could keep it short as possible because it's just
And it's fast. It's
quick succession.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you dislike about Python?
This this is hard.
The first thing that comes in your mind. Ano ang isip mo?
Setup.
You said, okay.
Okay, how about what do you love about Python?
Syntax.
Syntax.
Is being a Python programmer a great career option?
Of course.
What is the hardest project you have ever worked on?
Python project.
Well, it would be nice if it's a Python project, but you could also specify another project.
It's an app for a geothermal company. It's like something that they will use like for the whole company. So,
Okay. Captain America or Iron Man?
Cap.
Cap, okay, so Cap girl.
We're Iron Man, but Cap is also awesome. Especially in Endgame, by the way. Adobo or sinigang?
Sinigang.
Okay. Strawberry or blueberry?
Blueberry.
Okay, blueberry.
Okay, here. This is gonna be a bit weird, but anime or K-drama?
Anime.
Oh yeah.
Yes, very nice. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
finally, C#, Java, or Python? Okay, thank you very much for participating in the lightning round, and that's all for today, folks.
So, today has been a very informative pilot episode. Miss Alysson, thank you for coming with us, for letting us know your thoughts about the Python community. And we hope to see you next time. I'm Aaron Miguel Herbosa.